So, I'm not sure if you heard, but basically, a lot of other groups of people, I'm gonna just say that specifically, white people are coming into contact with something similar, plight similar to what black people have always had to go through, right? And again, I think that this is a tragedy that's going on, but it's kind of like I would not be surprised that something gets done now that we're seeing a lot of families that don't look like us being impacted by these data centers. I will even go as far as to say I can see a class action lawsuit going against something even to the likes of Georgia Power, which is going to be the case study for this. But I want to basically make it about black and white because we talked about the billionaire that basically did this, right? But it was only us that was talking about this, right? It was only us that was talking about the billionaire that basically did this in our neighborhood, specifically a black community, and how it literally made those people had trouble breathing. You know what I mean? They started having like bad what do you call it, acne or whatnot because of the air. We already know how when it comes to the water, it says approximately 99.7 of those people will be in the global south, a group of poor formerly colonized nations, primarily in Latin America, Africa, and parts of Asia, that are responsible for less than 20% of historical carbon dioxide emissions, meaning the people who have contributed the least to planetary warming will be the ones who suffer the most. I always say on this fucking channel, and I got it from Yvette Garnell from Breaking Brown, ADOS, that black American people eat the failure. We eat the failure, and it's kind of like a testing of, we're going to test these. You're going to test it on, the black people. We're going to test it on the most predominantly poor group of people, which is black people, black American people specifically. And now that they're saying, okay, it's not that bad, we're going to try to see if we can test it on everybody else. And I think that a lot of white people are waking up on like, this is just not right. But it's kind of like we've been screaming since the rooftops of this is what's going on in our neighborhoods. Help. Can somebody like figure out ways that we can fix this shit? Can we do a class action lawsuit and bond up, lawyer up together, you know what I mean? As a human race, you know what I mean? But, we see differences. It says class dynamics influence the environments in which humans live, yet when this topic arises, it's almost always framed as a global issue. For example, anthropologist Jason Hickel recently published a now viral map displaying how by the year 2070, 2 billion people will be residing in regions exposed to extreme, potentially unlivable heat. What's happening in Memphis? Once a green energy advocate, tech billionaire Elon Musk, I don't know if I believe that, shifted his focus to the artificial intelligence arms race, established Colossus in Memphis 2024. Supercomputer facility designed to power train Musk AI chatbot Grok. It's fucking Twitter. Colossus is slated to be the world's largest supercomputer. But at what cost? The facility is currently operating 33 methane-powered gas turbines to fuel its AI technology. The magnitude of energy draw resulting pollution at Colossus is colossal. According to Southern Environmental Law Center, the facility draws enough electricity power to approximately power 100,000 homes. Those inputs are alarming, but the outputs are even worse. The facility's behemoth methane gas turbines increases Memphis's smog 30 to 60% as they belch planet-warming nitrogen oxides and poisonous formaldehyde around the clock. Pollutants linked to respiratory and cardiovascular disease, quoting SELC, and AI has been operating dozens of unpermitted methane gas turbines without public notice, permits, or air pollution controls. The number of turbines, extent of their emissions likely make the AI largest industrial source of smog-forming pollutants in Memphis. This is just Memphis, and this is just Memphis with a non-permit. Now, the story that we're about to go to is a story that's in Georgia, and it's Georgia Power. And I'm pretty sure that Georgia Power has a permit because guess what? If this family doesn't do what they're supposed to do, what Georgia's Power saying, take this fucking offer or we're going to send the police on you, send the government on you, meaning eminent domain. I'm gonna let Most Critical tell the story.
I come to you on the day of your daughter's wedding. I march up to you, fee-fi-fo-fum my way over, and I say, give me your house. Well, you can do a few things there. You can give me your house, negotiate to sell me your house. You can poke me in the eyes like Captain Insano, punch me in the face, fucking titty twist me. That's called a choice. You have a choice there. Your local government comes up to you and says, give me your house.
You ain't got no choice.
There ain't no choice. Not now. No choice. Not with data centers being the most important thing to these fucking...
And that's the thing I was going to say, like, they're dealing with Georgia Power. We're dealing with crooks. Call it what it is. Elon Musk is a crook. If you believe that Elon Musk ain't a crook, I don't know why you even follow me. I don't even know why you even follow me. If you still believe that Elon Musk is just a businessman and he's just doing business, damn. What did the last Jay-Z video didn't remind? I'm not one of them. Just unsubscribe. It's okay. You ain't even got to comment. I know I'm not your type of tea. Just unsubscribe. But we got to deal with crooks. You understand what I mean? Because I promise you, Elon Musk ain't going to them people. You know what I mean? The people that look like Moist Critical. He know that they probably got some money to have some lawyers to sue the fuck out of his ass. When you got the government, you really ain't got no choice. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. It just is what it is. And it's crazy because it's like as much as they're learning from our situation, we're learning from their situation. Because we see now that they're capable of to possibly push eminent domain on you. Eminent domain? Really? So this is that much helpful and beneficial to the greater good of all of Georgia? Really? We have multiple stories of how much water and power is taken to consume and power those things. Are we serious?
Zombies in power. I know I've yapped about it a lot, but legitimately, AI data centers are actually the boogeyman. They are just a scourge on this planet and a stain on civilized society. They are these behemoths that require all infrastructure to be changed to suit their gluttony, to satiate their insatiable appetite. And doing so just pillages communities while seeing basically no benefit beyond the temporary jobs they used to build them. Always worth reminding you that the data centers that we have, except for like the biggest ones, usually have like 20, maybe 25 on the high end full-time employees. And sometimes not even that much. Even the biggest ones don't have significantly more full-time employees than that. So it is a complete plague on communities in which AI data centers infest. And it is just a growing problem, much like the explosive diarrhea problem, except on a much larger scale. And your local government prioritizes these data centers over you, the human beings, the civilians in which they were elected to represent and try and support. They have sold you out and are actively just selling you for parts, your land.
The fact that Georgia Power has the ability to do this is mind-blowing. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's a company, and it's a private company that has the likes of the government behind it. You know what I mean? Same thing with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is no different. I'm going to just keep it a buck with you. Yes, they're crooks. Let's keep it a fucking buck. Yes, Georgia Power is more quote unquote official, but I've heard some horror stories from even Georgia Power too. I've heard some horror stories from Gas South. I've heard some horror stories from even definitely from Scanner. You know what I mean? On how they treat the community, how they treat people. You know what I mean? Because it's like, let's just keep it a buck. When you don't pay that bill, they on your ass.
And your water, your electricity, all of it is being diverted to these AI data center demons. And I just watched a story that covered one family's lengthy battle that unfortunately ended in defeat against Georgia Power, who swooped in and told them that they would need to sell them their house, a house they had owned for multiple decades, because they were upping their power grid and needed to run lines through their property to supply to the AI data center there. And they couldn't refuse because if they didn't sell their house, they made it clear that they would just seize it under eminent domain.
Welcome back. Some homeowners in Georgia are being given an ultimatum to sell their homes or the state will, get this, take it to make way for AI data centers. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry has more.
I'm a single mom. I worked hard for everything.
How do you put a price on a home you never intended to sell?
Well, I'd say horseradish. Hoo-wee with that. You can't put a price tag on fun. And what's more fun than an AI data center? Especially if you're at the top of the food chain.
Exactly.
Dropping the sarcasm. Obviously, no normal person actually sees a benefit when an AI data center comes through. All of the evidence from all of the operational data centers across this country confirm that from everything I've seen.
Yeah.
I just went through data does not seem to indicate that the communities, the local communities.
I'll even go to the actual. Give me a minute. All right. What does data centers do to water? Data centers affect water primarily by drawing millions of gallons daily for cooling and indirectly through the water footprint of their electrical supply. These massive withdrawals and evaporative losses strain local municipal supplies, while chemical runoff and discharge from cooling systems can potentially degrade water quality. It says direct consumption. Because servers run 24/7 and generate extreme heat, data centers require continuous temperature regulation. The vast majority utilize evaporative cooling towers, evaporative large volumes of water to keep the facility cool. It's just nasty. The contamination and runoff as water evaporates, the concentration of minerals and treatment chemicals such as biocides and corrosion inhibitors increases. Discharging this concentrated wastewater or using it for agricultural purposes can risk polluting local soil and groundwater. Indirect consumption. Data centers require vast amounts of electricity. The power plants are supplying this energy, whether coal, natural gas, or nuclear, rely on massive water withdrawals. It's like we already got nuclear plants still to this day, and don't even get me started on those shits. Like once you hear them nuclear plants be blowing up, it's nasty. I don't even want to see what a fucking data center fucking blowing up. Let me see. What does data centers do to the air? Data centers affect the air in three primary ways. Emit exhaust from continuous gas and diesel backup generators, release massive amounts of hot air and noise from the cooling system, and it indirectly causes air pollution through the heavy regional power consumption. Toxic generator, it says toxic generator. Data centers rely on diesel generators for emergency and in some cases natural gas plants for continuous day-to-day power. These burn fossil fuels and release harmful pollutants including fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, nitrous oxides, and carbon monoxide, which are linked to respiratory and cardiovascular diseases in nearby communities. Hot air and noise pollution, indirect pollution. Data centers emit immense amounts of electricity. Their off-site power demand often requires regional utility grids to burn more fossil fuel. This process, along with the generators, produces a loud, constant, low-frequency hum that often disrupts the peace of surrounding neighborhoods. It's just nasty, dog. All the way fucking around, dog. It's nasty all the way around.
Actually get any benefits from these data centers that get put in. It is just a burden. And now, as I've said, all of these local governments are scrambling to do what they can to ensure they get built come hell or high water and are actively shutting out the voices of the communities that they are supposed to represent and protect. It is sickening.
One filled with more than 2 decades of memories.
I think I was 5 or 6 when this was built.
The yard where you buried your pets. The greenhouse that fed your family.
When you talk about what being on this property means to you.
Yeah.
Right? It's y'all's.
It's ours. It's our family. We belong here.
But Ansley Brown's childhood home likely won't be here much longer. That's because the state's largest utility, Georgia Power, says it needs the area to make way for a 35-mile-long transmission line.
35
now,
miles.
if you're an AI data center cock gobbler, you might be going with the very obvious low-hanging fruit argument of, well, this is important because this is public infrastructure that will serve the community by adding these lines here to up the power grid. This is going to be in service to everyone there. Thus, if they are not willing to sell, eminent domain does make sense. And this is an open and shut case. But here's the thing. They openly talk about these new lines and this upgrade. Almost all of it is solely for AI data center,
Bingo.
Not for the community.
Bingo.
That is not serving the public. Again,
They're saying that the lines is basically to serve the community because somehow the power is going to be converted to the community, that the lines is going to the community. Let's just keep it a buck. Come on now. They're saying not the actual data center itself, but they're saying that the lines going through the neighborhood is going to divert off into the community so they can have power as well. Let's just stop this shit. Let's stop this shit.
The data that is readily accessible right there at your fingertips can show you that AI data centers are not actually serving the community in a helpful way. The only people it serves, the only people it benefits, are the putrid ghouls at the top of the food chain that are behind these projects that make tons and tons of money off of it. And the local governments, well, maybe they get some doubloons tossed their way as well, a little bit of the scraps there to incentivize greenlighting these projects.
Bingo. Yeah,
Georgia Power has been here for as long as...
One of the things that, a lot of people don't fuck with it when it comes to the government. Like when you vote and you realize that a lot of these motherfuckers, like I said before, I think I said it in my last video, we had a lot of issue when it came to the agriculture, when it came to black farmers actually receiving any type of money from the government, right? And a lot of black farmers did go to the government while Obama was in office. And I think I told the story of the Monsanto seed. Basically, Monsanto had a seed that would literally repopulate in other farmers' farms. So the moment that they would literally go to each farm around them and be like, all right, so we got to check the soil. We got to check the plant to make sure that you're not growing some of our seed. Because the moment we see that, they pull in this. They pull in we have to take over this farm by law. We have to take over because that's our copyrighted seed. Now, once we, the black farmers went to the government, they went to the government and said, hey, this is wrong. This is foul. And not only did Obama, shut case on their ass, like really just said, it just is what it is. They also protected it. It was literally through Obama. He made a policy that basically protected Monsanto, which is, it just is what it is. That's how this government works. And I get it. I promise you I do. But this is why we got to be careful on who we put in office, because we didn't know who the fuck that nigga was in the first place. You understand what I mean? We just knew that he was black. You know what I mean? So it's like, even when it comes to us as black people, we got to be careful on who we fucking put in office. I'm not saying nobody, but a lot of them talk a good talk. Even the Mondanis of the world talk a real good talk. He was talking about all this, the rent shit, free buses. I don't think he did one of them things. You feel me? So he's working on it. He's working on it. That's what he said. But all right, nigga. All right. Wake up, niggas. But I'm not in no way am I saying that you shouldn't vote. I'm saying that you need to know who you voting for, because shit like this needs to be like handled with our governors, with our senates, with our shit. I would even say it's like if anything, if they don't do it, it should be a class action lawsuit, not only against companies like Georgia Power, but also ways to get these people that are in power that said nothing. You know what I mean? The whole your silence is deafening type of thing. We should be like ways to be like sue them as well, because it's like, nigga, don't you have agriculture under your name? Agriculture department under your name, and you ain't really tuned into the streets, for lack of better words.
Leslie's mother has owned this property. It's just beyond the tree line. Now, with the expansion of this latest project, they're looking to take the 2.5 acres the house sits on.
Georgia Power says increasing demand has outpaced the capacity of its existing grid, and building a new transmission line requires acquiring more than 300 parcels of land, including residential properties.
What did your mom tell you she wanted? It's
a lot of neighborhoods that I see that are predominantly white that have a lot of those power lines that go straight through their shit too. And they be nice ass houses, don't get it twisted. I'm just thinking about the families that didn't have a voice. You know what I mean? The families that did not have a voice, whether be it white or black. The families that didn't have, ways to be able to reach CBS News. The families that didn't have TikTok. You know what I mean? I think that's how she got big as far as off of TikTok. When this is happening to you, as far as if you're seeing this, no matter where you're from, try to make sure that you basically let it be known that this is happening to your neighborhood. Because if it's quiet, then it's like it'll keep happening quietly. You know what I mean? But this is eminent domain. This is crazy, dog. I'm sorry. I had to talk about this shit.
For this property to be
generational wealth, true generational wealth was the idea. And now it's being stripped from us.
Georgia Power estimates 70 to 80% of the power on this new line is expected to help serve data centers. It says the remaining 20 to 30% of power will serve the state's growing residential and commercial demand.
70 to 80% of this upgrade is solely for AI data centers, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. And this is what they're publicly sharing, which is oftentimes very charitable, very generous numbers that they like to work with there. They put on a full face of makeup here to really make it seem like, no, this is this is like good for you actually. And even with that in mind, they still say 70 to 80% is used solely for data centers, and then
they said
the civilians, the plebeians, get the remaining.
Yeah, the remaining 20 to 30%. I mean, because it should, you know, if you're thinking for the company, you could be like, well, that makes sense because they got to make some type of business, right? Who's benefiting if you're the one that's basically having respiratory disease and cardiovascular issues? So you'll take the 70-30 to be placed in your neighborhood. You'll take the 20-30% to be placed in your neighborhood because that's just good business. Like you're not a fucking human being. That's what I have an issue when people talk about the aspect of business in these type of conversations. Because it's like there's people literally unaliving slowly. Like we already have issues with the fucking food industry, FDA. Like they talking about explosive diarrhea. And that was because of the fucking Trump cutting fucking some of the programs that we had to protect us from this shit. But that's good business to some people. Y'all gotta like get these companies dicks out your mouths for real. Like pause. But you do have to do that. Because I know it's a lot of like people that be on that type of time. Like that's just good business. Like what do you expect them to do? Like that's business. You have to have efficacy within business. That's the whole point of this shit, dog. It has to be ethical. Like for real, like ethical. I know that's hard to fucking concept in y'all fucking minds, but it has to have some type of efficacy when it comes to good business or even business in general. Like I think a lot of people have lost the aspect of, you know what I mean? You doing business, but it's like, what type of business do you have? I say it all the time. You're doing business, but you ain't got, first of all, you got employees, but you don't have no health benefits for those employees. You ain't got no type of union standing for that employees just in case anything get out of line. You ain't got no type of insurance for them. You know what I mean? Like all three of those efficacy. You understand what I mean? But it's hard to concept. Like it's a hard concept for people that don't give a fuck about humans. Don't give a fuck about employees. They just want to be able to say that I have the title of being a business owner. It's like, that's the part that like is sickening about a lot of this shit.
20 to 30% of this upgrade. So I think just looking at these raw numbers, I feel you can make a very strong argument that this is not in service of the community. That's an afterthought. It's in service to the AI data centers that are placing more of a demand here that you are appeasing and upgrading and now taking over 300 parcels of land from the community and residents, including this family's cherished, beloved home. And I just don't think it's in service of the community. I think it's blatantly obvious it's not. Thus, I don't think eminent domain should even be an option on the table. Now, according to the daughter here, the price they wanted for their home to be taken by Georgia Power was astronomical, generational wealth.
She said generational wealth.
They didn't want to play ball with. Exactly. Instead, I imagine they went with some lowball offers, as is standard procedure when this kind of shit unfolds here, where they try and take advantage of the situation here, because there's not a choice, really. As you're about to hear more in the story, this has been like a year-long battle where they were trying to purchase the house from them. They weren't wanting to sell, unless, of course, generational wealth was an offer on the table, which, of course, they're never going to do. Thus, they were looking to potentially employ eminent domain to just strip it from them regardless, thus forcing them to accept the offer. And by my madness on the whole thing, but genuinely,
this is what the sponsor said of Georgia Power. I'm surprised they said something.
Epitomized with AI data centers in particular.
What do you say to someone who will push back on any sort of offer that's out there and say, well, a price tag can't replace memories?
Oh gosh, you know, it almost makes me emotional because I have those memories in like my house, and I get how deeply personal people's homes are. I would just say that we see you and we hear you, and we want this process to be respectful and transparent, and that is going to ultimately benefit you.
Barbecue chicken.
We want to tell you that we're going to fuck you. And as long as we're telling you that we're going to fuck you, if you don't take this offer, that's the transparency. I'm going to let y'all see the rest of the video. I skipped through half of it. So that is, I'm not mad at the young lady doing what she did and basically saying, yeah, I want generational wealth. So give me about fucking shit, $500 million to $1 billion. Generational wealth, bitch. Give me that shit. My house probably already cost $2 million, at least $6 million. You got 2 acres of land, nice ass house, a garden, You got the backyard with the fucking the greenhouse. You got a fucking a tree house. You got nah. Yeah. Give me that 500,000. 500. I said 500,000. 500 million to $1 billion. And I'm pretty sure that I'm doing low numbers. I got a feeling that I'm doing low numbers. But yeah. Give me that shit. Yeah, give me that shit. Cause you profiting off of some shit that I could have profited off of. They don't think about it like that though. Until they trying to sell it to you. They don't think about the aspect of the for lack of better words, the royalties that you can get from that. You know what I mean? For lack of better words. But put some incentive in me selling this land. It's nasty. Like that we gone Bunkai.